Chapter 3, verses 21 to 30. Yasyatharati Shreshtaha Sattadete Sarojanaha Sayat Pramanam Kurute Lokastadanubhattate Name Pathati Kartavyam Trishu Lokeshu Kinchana Nanavaptamavaptavyam Vartaye Vachakarmani Yadi Yamam Navatteyam Ratu Karmanya Samritaha Mama Vatmanuvartante Manushya Partha Sarvashaha Utsi Veyurime Lokaha Narunyam karma chetanam sankarasya chakartaryam upahannami ma prajaha satta karmanya vidvamsaha yatha kurvanti bharata kuryat vidvamsaha sattaha tishushu loka samgraham Nabuddhi vedam janaye ajnanam dharma sanginam joshaye sarvakarmani vidvan yukta samacharan prakrute kriyamanani unaitamani sarvashaha ahankara vimudhatma Sattahamiti manjate Sattavittu mahabhaho Gunakarma vibhagayoho Guna guneshu vattante Iti mattvana sajjate Prakrute guna sammudhaha Sajjante gunakarmasu Tāna Krishna vido mantan Krishna vinna vichālaye Mani sarvādi karmāni Sanyasyācātma cetasa Nirāshītirmamo bhūpa Yudhyasva vikadasvaraha
Two ways of performing action. One is performing action with attachment to the action. Another is to perform action with detachment. There is a reason for attachment. Since a person asks the reason for detachment also, he gives a reason, such as for the general welfare of the people. A person who is attached has a reason for his attachment. What is the reason for attachment? Two ways of acting. One is with attachment, another is with detachment. A person acting has a reason for his attachment. The reason for attachment is it gives a kind of joy. It gives a kind of fulfillment. It gives a sense of satisfaction. Another way of acting is bring in the same intensity to action but be detached. Act as the ignorant one who is attached to action but be detached. Immediately the question that will come is, why should I practice detachment? For all the energy and motivation comes from attachment. Why should I practice detachment? First thing, there is no reason to practice detachment. If you are not detached, understand the consequences, automatically you will get detached. There is no reason. But here, Arjuna is not in a position to understand all this. So he gives a reason, such as the wise should act without attachment by having a higher ideal, such as the general welfare of people. Act for the general welfare. If you are wise, what will you ask? What happens if I get attached to this? For the nature of the mind is to get attached. So, one type of action, if it is led by the mind, necessarily it will end up in attachment. Another type of action, when it is driven by knowledge and understanding, it brings about a detachment. One type of action, if it is led by the mind, it doesn't matter whatever the field of activity is, it will end up in attachment. Another type of activity, whatever be the field of activity, if it is driven by an understanding, it results in detachment. What is the reason? Why should I get detached? What is the reason for detachment? You can tell the person that you are attached, you are suffering, since you want freedom, get detached. You have heard this a million times, but still the conviction for practicing detachment will never come. Or a person can practice detachment where he experiences a pain. Most of the time people want to practice detachment only in the areas of a pain. When things are going well, no questioning will come. Only when things go wrong, questions. Why the person is hating me? Why the person is irritated at me, frustrated at me? You can never ask the question when the person is loving you. Why that person is loving you? You follow? Questioning arises only when there is a pain, and some reasoning has to be given. For the higher values, for the higher values, you understand what it is to not have it. By understanding what it is not to have it, there will be a motivation to have it. How to bring about the initial motivation? Some reasoning, some bait has to be given. If you just put when you catch the fish, you put what do you put? The rod. Without the bait, the fish will escape. You have to keep a bait. Then only the fish will just get detached. Now Arjuna will escape. For there is no bait there. So he gives a bait. What is the bait? Wish the welfare of the world. Oh, Abhiya, okay. So I can do something. I can do something for the world. I can do something good for the world. No. At least there is a detachment from a deeper level of selfishness and moving up to something higher. At least to that extent it helps. But where he talks about, what he talks about detachment is something higher than that. What is the higher in that? Action that bring about action that is done with energy, action that brings about wonderful results, and you are completely detached from the result. Action done with tremendous energy. In attachment, action is done with tremendous effort. If you compare and contrast, it becomes easy. In attachment, action is done with tremendous effort. Same action in detachment is done with tremendous energy. In action with attachment, since it is done with a tremendous effort, the results are not always pleasant. When it is done with detachment, the result is wonderful. Wonderful for whom? First, for the doer it is wonderful, for he is evolving. Because of the very nature of detachment itself, the quality of the action is so high, general welfare automatically keeps happening, and he is far removed from it. He is far detached from it. So the wise one understands this and acts as though he is attached, but he is detached. What is the difference between action with attachment and action with detachment? With effort or without effort? What they call as effortless. Autopilot, sir. You get into it, you are in that zone. No? You are in that zone and you are just acting and acting and acting. Nothing. You don't experience the fatigue or the tiredness of it. This is the difference between action, fundamental difference between action done with attachment and detachment. From outside both look the same. Just as when Rama lost Sita, he was crying. Here is a man acting on the stage as Rama, and he lost his Sita, and he is also crying. From outside both are crying, both are screaming, both are shouting. For the man acting on the stage as Rama, his shouting, his screaming, his crying doesn't affect him. Number one. Number two, the way that he is screaming and shouting and crying, Rama himself will appreciate. He himself will. Now even for Lord Rama, he didn't have time for rehearsals and practice Allah. And this man had enough time for rehearsals and practice and modulation and everything. No. Same crying. One is attached, another is detached. So from outside, if you look at it, you will never know the difference, whether it is attachment or detachment. The man who is doing it, the karta, the doer knows whether it is attachment or detachment. How do you know that you are doing it with attachment? First thing, it is done with much effort. It is done with much effort. Number two, there is a tremendous worry about the result. There will be a worry about the result. You cannot tell the person who is attached not to be bothered about the result. It doesn't work. For the very nature of attachment itself brings about and tremendous anxiety for the fruit. And if you go and tell him, just do what you are supposed to do, don't bother about the fruit, enjoy doing whatever you are doing, he says all this will not work because of the fundamental root. What is the fundamental root? There is an attachment. The third, what is attachment to the doing? In the attachment to the doing, if you are denied, you will be frustrated. If you are denied, there will be a frustration. When you do, there will be a result orientation. When you are denied, there is a frustration. So not doing is frustration. Doing brings about result orientation, which is anxiety, which is agitation. That is how a man doing action, a human being doing action with attachment always suffers. And if you tell the person, don't be attached, don't be bothered about the fruit, don't be attached, what goes out? What goes out? The very action itself stops. The very action itself stops. He brings about a wonderful way of acting. How? Act as though you are obsessed with desire, but be desireless. That's all he says. Act as though exactly like actor on the stage. If you understand the actor on the stage, then you will understand this example. Then you will understand, if you understand the example of actor on the stage, then what he says becomes meaningful. Act as though you have lost your wife, but understand what? You tell the actor on the stage, go onto the stage and act as though you have lost your wife. But understand? Understand? Understand what? There is no wife in the first place. In fact, the very freedom that he has no wife, he can cry and shout on top of the wife. Because there is no attachment. You know? Very, very wonderful it is, very subtle it is, but still it will elude the grasp. What? Act as though you are obsessed, but don't be obsessed. Feel like asking, say one thing. Either be obsessed or be free. Don't ask to do both. And you have to do both, because one part of you should be in action, another part of you must be detached from the action. One part of you must be in the doing, another part of you must be free from the doing. One part of you must possess, another part of you must take. One part of you must have it, another part in you must say, "Na mama, not mine." You keep it as though it is yours, but understand that it's not yours. Protect as though it is yours, but understand it's not yours. It's not mine, sir. What difference does it make? No. It is yours. Keep it safely. No, there is a. To tell the child, it is yours. Keep it safely. Possessiveness is thought. Opposite of that, he says, is two broad categories of action. Starting point of the right lesson in Karma Yoga. At the very outset itself, he divides actions into two broad categories. What are the two broad categories? Like how an ignorant acts and how a wise acts. So first condition, first thing he proved is both are acting. Number two, from outside you will never know the difference. But inside there is a tremendous difference. What is the difference? One is attached, another is detached. From this, you conclude attachment or detachment has got nothing to do with the action, it is the mental attitude. This is the derivation. This is how you derive. Because he is saying both are acting. Both are doing the same thing. But there is an internal difference. What is the internal difference? One is attachment, another is detachment. And both are mental attitudes, which has got nothing to do with action. Then only you can overcome. Attachment is one kind of mental attitude born out of ignorance. Detachment is another kind of mental attitude born out of knowledge. But anyway, both boils down to mental. Both boil down to mental attitude. What is the mental attitude? That's what he calls as Karma Yoga. Yajna Karma. Ignorant mental attitude is Mama. Wise mental attitude is Na Mama, which is Yajna Karma. But both are in action, and how they do the action? As though you are possessed. What is the definition of obsession. How do you understand obsession? How do you understand obsession? What is obsession? He said, don't be obsessed. Now, what is obsession? Craving. Holding on to. What is obsession? Thoughts keep circling around it and you just can't do anything about it. That is obsession. If thoughts are circling towards anything and you just not able to do anything about it, it is known as obsession. The boy meets the girl, the thoughts are circling around that girl so constantly that he can't do anything about it. This is what is known as obsession. What is detachment? Opposite of it. You decide the duration of how long it should. When you decide the duration of how long it should circle, you are detached. When it happens by itself and you can't do anything about it, you are obsessed, attached. Unless you understand it like this, you will never know whether you are obsessed or detached. Otherwise, it looks like already you are detached. What is obsession? The thoughts keep circling around it. How much ever you want to move away and shift it to something else, it will not go. Forcefully you shift, what happens? Forcefully you shift, it is frustration, irritation, anger. Forcefully if you shift. Okay. Can you do it through knowledge and understanding? It will not cooperate to gain. It will not cooperate even to gain the knowledge. This is how you understand. This is how you understand what is obsession. And if you look at everybody, every individual, including me, whoever has a mind, it doesn't matter who it is. Whoever has a mind, their thoughts will be circling around one or two only all the time. It will not go everywhere. It will never go everywhere. It will be circling around just one or two. And you won't be able to do. You are so helpless. You are so helpless about that. To a person who is obsessed like this, what you should do, how you should help, what you should do. Are you able to follow? This is how a human being is. A human being is fundamentally obsessed. And what is the definition of obsession? Thoughts keep circling around it, over which he has no control. You forcefully take him out of it, there is a deeper frustration. You can forcefully take it away for a while, but it comes back with a greater force. 30 days they take, every year that 1 month of, see the statistics. Every year, 1 month they will not eat meat, no? There is a month where they will not eat meat. The meat sales for the first week after the month. In 1 month, you are supposed to understand what meat eating is not. Meat eating is not good for you. That's why you abstain from it. If it is right for you, why you should abstain? The very fact that they say abstain means there is something wrong in it. 1 month is a sufficient time for you to bring about some change and all that. Conversely, what happens? Statistic wise, I have all this. Statistics. The first week after the fasting period is over, the meat sales are shot up by 30%, and then it reduces to the original. This is what happens if you forcefully. Abstain. It should not be materialistic, sir. It should not be materialistic. That fellow ends up becoming more materialistic. Even ordinary man will not be so materialistic like the way this man practiced detachment. Why? Because you can't forcefully abstain. Then how to help that person? That person needs a help. That person also has to be attended to, helped to. How to help that person? What to do to that human being? Can he be helped at all? Can something be communicated to him? How to do that? Wonderful answer he gives in verse number 26. Wonderful answer. How to help that man? Can he be helped at all? Yes, he can be. The answer is given in verse 26. 25 he said, he is obsessed. Wise one should act like that. But you are not wise, Arjuna. The implication is, wise one should act like that means the implications you are not wise. But you spoke like a wise man and wanted to, are able to follow. But you spoke like a wise man and you want to imitate your misunderstanding of, you spoke like a wise man, and that speaking like a wise man arises out of a deep misunderstanding, and you want to imitate that misunderstanding. If he is really wise, you can never convince a wise man to do anything other than that. You know that, no? Who you can convince? A person who is doubting can be convinced. An ignorant man also can be convinced. You keep drilling, he can also be convinced. A wise man can never be, because that itself is conviction. But here, the wise one will act like this, Arjuna. But you are not wise. But you want to imitate wisdom out of your misunderstanding. And you think detachment means running away from the battlefield. What is this battlefield, Arjuna? It's a drama. What is this battlefield? It's a play. You have got nothing to do with anything that is happening on the stage. Now that you are to act like a Kshatriya, what you do? Understand it as a play and do your role. This is how a wise man will act. But what you are doing is, you have a misunderstanding of wisdom, and you are trying to imitate that. You are trying to copy that. You are trying to follow that. Don't do that. Get back to action. But you are obsessed. What to do with the man of obsession? How to help that man who is obsessed. What can be done? What can be done to him? Another wonderful verse. Extraordinary verse. And he gives the answer. Verse number 26.
Nabudhivedam janaye ajnanam karma sanghinam doshagit sarva karmani visvan yuktas samacharan nabudhivedam janaye ajnanam karma sanghinam doshagit sarva karmani.
Let not the wise man unsettle the minds of the ignorant. Who is attached to action? Acting united, let him render all actions attractive. Don't go to a man of obsession and pull him out of his obsession. Yes, Bharat. Yeah. The attachment. Yes. The attachment leads to detachment. Yes. Okay. The question that he is asking is, first you have to get attached to even conceive and understand about detachment. Is that how it works? Detachment is not opposite of attachment. Since we are conditioned to think linguistically, we think it's linguistic to say detachment as the opposite of attachment. Detachment is not the opposite of attachment. Detachment is the absence of attachment. Just as wisdom is not the opposite of ignorance. But since, let's go step by step. All our thinking is conditioned by duality. All our thinking is conditioned by the duality. What is the duality? One as opposed to the other. Heat as opposed to cold. Profit as opposed to loss. Honor as opposed to dishonor. So all thinking is conditioned by linguistics. Moral as against immoral. Divine as against demonical. This way of functioning, this way of thinking is very utilitarian, is very useful as far as worldly transactions are concerned. This way of thinking is very purposeful. This way of thinking is very utilitarian, very essential also. For then only you can have a worldly transaction. Here when you are talking about transcending the world itself, the entire way of thinking itself changes. How does it change? We leave the linguistic opposites behind and penetrate deeper and understand. You follow? If it is linguistically opposite, what is the need for penetrating capacity? Straight away you have understood, no? If detachment is the opposite of attachment, straight away you have understood. But then there is no understanding also. Why? Because we think in linguistic opposites. Therefore, to break that, you need a different way of thinking. Tarka means logic. Tarka means logic, reasoning. And there are two types of tarka. Tarka means logic, reasoning. And there are two types of tarka. One is kutarka, another is vitarka. Shastra is defined like that. Wonderful way of defining logic. Kutarka is that which is used in the worldly sense. The linguistic opposite kind of logic. Shastras deal with the different kind of reasoning, which is vitarka. So when we come here, when we shift, we need to shift to the way of reasoning itself. What is the first shift? Linguistically, you have to say detachment is the opposite of attachment. Linguistically. In truth, detachment is not the opposite of attachment. When all attachment is taken away, what remains is detachment. So, the effort always is what? Even though linguistically it looks like we are trying to get detached, for all practical purposes, what can be done? You can only understand the futility of attachment. It is the futility of attachment that leads you to drop the very attachment. What remains is detachment. You think like this. Use the vitarka type of reasoning. Not to think within the linguistic opposites. Shastra follows that technique. Vitarka means special kind of reasoning. Tarka means logic, reasoning. And there are two kinds of tarka. One is kutarka, another is vitarka. Shastras follow the type of reasoning called vitarka. What is it? It's not linguistic opposites. That's why they say leave the language behind. They break the barrier of language. They break the barrier of linguistics because it is not the linguistic opposites. They say, wonderful is that logic. Absence of light is darkness. It's not the opposite of it, but it is the absence of it. Opposite means, why it is called kutarka or why it is called the wrong type of reasoning is because in linguistic opposites, you can intellectually conceive of both existing. Are you able to follow now? Think in this. It's very, very interesting. You will never get tired of. It's so exciting this. In the way of kutarka, in the way of ignorant way of reasoning, opposites exist. You can actually conceive both existing. You can weigh the pros and cons. All that you can do. But then fundamentally you have conceived that both exist. God and world can't coexist. Only one exists. Just as rope and snake can't coexist. You follow? Very, very. In fact, that's how you develop that. This is how you develop the intellect. By this kind of reasoning. So dramatically, poetically, they put it like saying, darkness is the absence of light. How do you know that? How can you say that? A cave in darkness for millions of years doesn't need millions of years of light to drive the darkness away. You strike the first match, millions of years of darkness has vanished. It means darkness is the absence of light. Opposite of it means this much time should take this much time. That's how we always believe. This much time of ignorance, how can you straight away become? It means you are reasoning in a different way. What they call as kutarka. So all worldly kind of reasoning is kutarka. Here what we are trying is vitarka. Are you able to follow? One type of reasoning says, millions of years of darkness, how can it go by one strike of light, sir? It is not possible. All that is nice to hear, but it doesn't actually work. After this you can't talk. At this point you have to give up and say, correct, it will not work. I am sorry, you have to go away. But then, how does it actually work? Don't think linguistically. Detachment is not the opposite of attachment. Linguistically it may appear to be so, but in reality, the absence of, when you keep taking it away, the end result has to be zero, no? Are you able to follow? One type of reasoning says, you remove. The end product must be zero. The enlightened master comes and says, you remove and remove and remove. You keep removing. Where you end up is an infinite. Not zero. Linguistically speaking, one kind of logic will say, you keep eliminating. Where you should end up? By the process of neti, where you should end up? You should end up in zero. The man says, you are thinking logically, you have no experience, he will say. You will go to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and you will say, if you go on negating neti, you will end up in zero. No. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa will say, you have no experience. That's why you are talking like this. You go on removing. Where you will end up is in infinite. It defies all the linguistic type of logic gets defeated here. That's why they call it as vitarka, a different kind of reasoning. Where we are having the difficulty is, now I am coming to our difficulty. Are you able to follow till now? It's wonderful it is. That's why they say, Vedanta keeps saying no, and you will end up in nothing. Because they are thinking at a linguistic type of logic, a kutarka type of logic. You go to an enlightened master, he says, you have not understood what I am saying from the beginning, he will say. He will say from the beginning, you have not understood what I am saying. By making it, by deleting it, you will not end up in zero, but you will end up in the infinite. Logic fails here. When I say logic fails here, where we are trained in one kind of logic, that fails. Are you able to follow? Now I am talking about our present day problem. Our present day problem is such that we are alternating between the two logics. That is why some amount of time has to be dedicatedly spent on developing this reasoning. Why we are not able to proceed is because for 1.5 hours we sit and listen to one type of reasoning. We go out and start doing another kind of reasoning. You can do that. You have to be like an octopus to do that. They say documentary yesterday. I just was, the TV was on, I was sitting for a few minutes, some documentary, wonderful. Octopus can change colors minimum 1000 times in a day. It means if it is living for 365 days, na? I said, what amount of objectivity that octopus should have to quickly adapt. The way it can escape the predators is it quickly, in the moving waters you can't be in the same place. No, it is moving, and the environment is also. So in a day, minimum 1000 times it can. We can also become like an octopus if we spend some amount of time dedicated for developing this reasoning. What? Vitarka type of reasoning. But then our difficulty is 1 hour of Vitarka type of reasoning and 23 hours of Kutarka type of reasoning. Since that is predominant, we try to understand and interpret the Shastras also according, using that as the method. You follow? Change that. Detachment is not opposite of attachment. It is the absence of it. Just as light, darkness is absence of light. Number 1. Number 2. In linguistic thinking, in linguistic logic, opposites can be conceived. In Vitarka, only one exists. Either the world exists or Brahman exists. Both don't coexist. Either you are ignorant or you are wise. Both don't coexist. In some areas I am wise, in some areas I am ignorant. The Kutarka type of reasoning will agree to it. It looks very logical to the Kutarka type of reasoning. You follow? The Vitarka type of reasoning will come and say, how is it possible? You can't be half rope and half snake. If it is half rope and half snake, what is the reality? Snake is the reality. If you are half ignorant and half wise, what is the reality? Ignorance is the reality. That is why the enlightened master, even the wisest man who has won Nobel Prize, goes to him. He looks at him with conviction and says, you are ignorant. He goes back thinking, did he talk about me or my secretary? He said he spoke about you only. You follow? Shastras follow one type of reasoning. The type of reasoning known as neti. What it is can never be told. What it is has to be experienced. What it is can never be told. For what it is the subject matter of experience. That is why God can never be told. For God is the subject matter of experience. What it is not can be spoken. Ignorance is not there. You can talk about it. God is there, but you cannot say anything about it. So absurd, no, this is. Imagine a man who is coming into this classroom for the first time. If he were to listen to this conversation, he will think, something is wrong with him. Something is blabbering. சில பேர் என்ன புரிஞ்ச மாதிரி taking the correct. How is it possible? You follow? A different kind of reasoning. What is the different kind of reasoning? That which is there cannot be spoken about. That which is not there can be spoken. Ignorance which is not there can be spoken about. God which is there can never be spoken about. We go back thinking, இதுக்குதான் இங்கெல்லாம் போனா பாருங்க, இதுதான் இந்த மாதிரி வேதாந்தா கிளாஸ் எல்லாம் நல்ல வேலை சார், சீரியஸா எடுத்துக்கல இதெல்லாம். You follow? Life is a paradox. Starts with this. Life is a paradox. What is the paradox? What you see is not what it is, no? One kind of logic says what you see is what it is. Another kind of understanding about life is what you see is not what it is. It's a paradox. If what you see is what it is, why do you need penetrating capacity? Are you able to follow? Why do you need buddhi? Why do you have to say Diyo Yona Prachodayat morning, noon and night 1,000 times? For what you see is what it is, you don't need intellect. You don't need this penetrating capacity at all. You don't need this intellect at all. But the paradox of life is what you see is not what it is. Able to follow? One kind of logic says what you see is what it is. There is a physical property, there is a chemical property. What you see has a physical property and chemical property. What you see is what it is. A wise man will come and say there is consciousness in it. That which cannot be seen. You see the physical property, you see the chemical property. When you see an apple, you see the physical property, you can see the chemical property, you can see the nutritional value, but what you cannot see? What you cannot understand? That which brought it out. You follow? It's a paradox. Why we need a different kind of reasoning is life is a paradox. And what is the paradox? What you see is not what it is. That's why every parent is concerned about the children. Why? Anyone gives an ice cream, anyone gives a chocolate, the child will think they are the friend and walk behind that person. No. What you see, if you are an enemy, why will you give an ice cream? If you are an enemy, why will you give a chocolate? If you are an enemy, you will give a slap, but you will not give a chocolate. No. What you see is not what it is. Shakespeare. One may smile and smile and smile and yet be a villain. You don't know? You don't know what to do. You follow? How to understand this? You need a different kind of reasoning. What is the different kind of reasoning? Negate what you see. Negate what you see. Is he loving? No. Oh, Abdina, he is hating. What is the answer? No. Now you get utterly confused. Is he loving or hating? Are you able to follow? This is called vitarka. This is called vitarka. You can see things, honestly, you can see things so clearly. It's so comical also, beyond a point. You follow? Attachment, detachment is not an opposite of attachment. Linguistically, it looks like that. So, how do you understand that? Start from the basics. What is the basic? Life is you need You need a different kind of reasoning, because what you see is not what it is. If what you see is what it is, you don't need buddhi at all. For it is so obvious, it's so clear. Where is the difficulty? But then, whatever you see is not what it is. So develop a different kind of penetrating capacity. What you see is the world, it's not what it is. Buddha, he was not Buddha then, he was the Siddhartha the prince, the charioteer. He pointed out to the palace and asked the charioteer, what do you see there? What do you see in that palace? The charioteer said, joy and happiness. He says, it's not there. He said, it's not there. Charioteer thought there is something wrong with Buddha. He said, God only knows who is right, who is wrong. You go your way, I go my way. There is the path of ignorance, there is the path of gaining knowledge. Buddha says, you go your way, I go my way. He ended up, Siddhartha the prince ended up in Buddha the enlightened. Charioteer continued to remain the charioteer only. You follow? The higher is not opposite of lower. The higher is the absence of lower. Even here we have to use, linguistically we have to use two words. That's why we are using it. You follow? Vitarka type of reasoning is the Upanishadic style, the classic Vedantic style of reasoning. The classic Shastric style, the classic Upanishadic style, the classic Vedantic style is Vitarka, a special kind of reasoning. Okay, Bharat? That's why always connect it now. As a starting point, he says, never take things for granted. No? How intellect grows. He says, never take things for granted. For what is taking things for granted means, what you see is what it is. No? You have taken for granted. He always says, no, don't take things for granted, don't take things for granted, don't take things for granted. What is the kind of reasoning that he is employed there? What you see is what it is. You take it for granted. What you see is not what it is. Now, you will not take things for granted. When you don't take things for granted, you have started to penetrate. Diyo yona prachodayat. What a deep understanding that man should have had, even to go and pray. Diyo yona prachodayat. Diyo yona prachodayat. And Shastra says, the Smriti text says, Prayasita for all the sins is chant Gayatri 1008 times. You know that, no? Chant Gayatri 10,000 times. Chant Gayatri 100,000 times. It's not the chanting. When you chant it 1,000 times, you understand what you got into the problem because you got into this problem, you committed this sin, you got into this problem because you didn't have this buddhi. Are you able to follow now? You go to the Smriti text, for all the sins there is a prayaschitta. What is a prayaschitta? If you have committed this sin, chant Gayatri 1008 times. I have chanted 20,000 long in a day. I used to say 20,000 and all I have chanted in a day. 4-5 hours. He said, when I met him, he said, "Amari chanting lala, nothing will happen. What are you saying is you lack You lack buddhi. That's why you are doing this. Gain this knowledge, you will develop the... You follow? Why? Because we take things for granted. And what is taking things for granted means? What you see, is what it is. Na? You are wrong. What you see is not what it is. Na? You are thinking. You are not taking things for granted. But in the மாதிரி doubt பட்டனே இருந்தா how to live the is not what it is. Na? What it is இருந்தா how do you live? How do you relate? Chant Gayatri 1008 times, you can say that song. What else you can tell that person? Repeat it 20,000 times in a day. I remember quite a few, because I have done such bad sins. I went and asked that man, what should I do? 2 வாட்டி 10,000 you have to chant. எவ்வளோ நாள்ல? ஒரே நாள்ல. அப்படின்னா என்ன பண்றது? அவ்வளவுதான். I shamelessly I can admit now, I have no problems now. I did it. I used to sit and do it. My sister will come and ask, எப்பதான் எந்திரிப்ப? இல்ல இன்னும் இவ்வளவு பாக்கி இருக்குது. So much I have to do. Why it is the prayaschitta? Because you lack that buddhi. Why you lack that buddhi? Because you have taken things for granted. What is meant by taking things for granted? You believed in, you have taken it for granted. What you saw is what it is. But life is a paradox. Life is a paradox. And life is full of such paradox. What is good for you is pleasant in the beginning. What is bad for you is what is good for you is very painful in the beginning. What is bad for you is very pleasant in the beginning. Paradox. You follow? Infinite is that paradox. One kind of logic keeps you in this paradox. Another kind of logic takes you beyond. The Shastra type of reasoning is a reasoning that will help, that takes you beyond. One part in you should relate to what you see outside. Another part in you internally should understand what you see is not what it is. Already we are hypocritical, and you are trying, and the teaching is making us more. You follow? That's what the previous verse he said, verse number 25. What he is saying? Exactly what it is. One part of you should relate to what you see. Another part in you understands what you see is not what it is. Is it possible at all? Yes, it is possible. Like actor on the stage, you get very irritated listening to this story again and again and again. There are other examples. Actor on the stage acts as though it is there, but one part of him understands it is not there. It is only an act. What is the paradox of life? As a human being, you have to play very many roles, and you have nothing to do with any of these roles you play. A human being has to play very many roles. The paradox of life is what? You play as though you are that, but deep inside you understand you have nothing to do. That's why it's called a role, no? What is your role means what? I am the manager. It's a role now. What does it mean?
I'm not.
Role means you are not that. Then who am I? you become the follower of Ramana Maharshi after that. Because he kept on saying, find out who am I. But then the paradox is, you are not that and you have assumed you are that. That's the darkness. Correct. That's the darkness. You are not that and you have assumed you are that. Vitarka type of reasoning comes and says, neti, not this. Am I the son? No. Am I the father? No. It's a role that you have to play. And don't identify with the role. But if you identify with the role, when you identify with the role, you become that. When you identify with any role, you become that. How not to identify with the role? By understanding you are playing a role, it's a stage. Imagine the man who is supposed to act like Rama, not real Rama. The man who is supposed to act like Rama comes to you and asks, how not to get attached to anything that is happening on the stage? If he asks you that, what will you say? He is asking you that question. What will be your answer? Are you able to follow the question? Man is supposed to act like Rama. He started believing that he is Rama, and he comes to you and says, I am Rama now, so much of problems I am facing, what should I do? What will be your answer? You are not Rama. Adu purira varaikum, all problems will remain the same. You will go back saying, அவருக்கு நம்ம பிரச்சனையே புரிய மாட்டேன்றாரு. He is not even understanding our problem. You follow? And yet the truth is what? You are not that. Paradox. You have to play your role as though you are that, but deep inside you should remember, you should be aware that you are not that. How to do that? Like Urvarukam live. How to do that? The person is so inspired. He comes and asks, how to do that? The teacher would have got so irritated at that boy who was asking this question. Haven't you seen the Urvarukam doing that? Be like that. Urvarukamiva bandhanat mrityor mukshiya mamritat. Like Urvarukam. Haven't you seen the cucumber? Be like that cucumber. What is a cucumber? Touching it, but not touching it, but not touching it. In it, but not in it. One kind of reasoning which is linguistic based, which is what the Shastras call as kutarka, will never allow you to transcend. For it brings you down more and more to the ignorance. Another kind of reasoning, vitarka, takes you out. And Shastras follow the reasoning of, Shastras follow this technique. What is the technique? Vitarka. Why it is called a different kind of reasoning? Because of the very paradox of life. And what is the paradox of life? What you see is not what it is. They don't explain all this. Just one word the Upanishadic master uses. not this. Neti. Adileni we have to sit and derive all this. He doesn't give such a Wonder and discourse. Where is he? He is not wasting. He is not going to waste. All that he says is neti, not this. You look like a very good person, sir. Neti. Oh, Abdina, you are a very bad person, huh? Neti. Here, reasoning takes a different dimension. Here, reasoning ability takes a different direction. But the linguistic kind of reasoning wants to come to a quick conclusion. What is the conclusion? In fact, the way of reasoning, carefully follow, think about it. If you still have a doubt, ask me next week. Reasoning class edukkalam. Bhagavad Gita. Reasoning class will do. See, in the linguistic kind of reasoning, conclusion happens instantly. Thinking doesn't happen at all. If you are not loving means hating. Conclusion comes straight away. There is no thinking at all. But all the worldly people think they are very deep in thought, sir. After careful thinking only I am saying this. Where is the thinking? For if you are, all the worldly kind of reasoning belongs to the Kutarka type of reasoning. And what is the Kutarka type of reasoning says? If you are not this, you are that. Conclusion comes straight away. If you are loving, you are not hating. If you are hating, you are not loving. If you are not a good person, you are a bad person. Like that. If you are not a bad person, you are a good person. If you have to say neti to both, what will you do? It is done. Unless teliva pona kuda class class put in the class not that. Life is this paradox. Life is this paradox. What is the paradox? Life is this paradox. What is the paradox? What you see is not. All sins are committed because you believed in what you saw. All sins are committed because you believed in what you saw. If you don't believe in, if you don't take things for granted, you don't believe in it, you take one step back. When you take that one step back, you are not creating any karma. You are not creating any bondage. Are you able to follow? When you take one step back, you are not creating any karma. You are not creating any bondage. If not, you go on creating karmas, and these karmas are nothing but bondage. You follow? Therefore, don't take things for granted. Take one step back. Understand it like this also. It's very easy. Ignorance is very bold. Wisdom hesitates. Ignorance is very bold. Fools rush in with angels fear to tread in. The same thing. Ignorance is very bold. Wisdom is hesitating. Converse is not true, native technique. All those who are hesitating are not wise. Correct, sir. Inme eppa ketal artha varsham paakalamna, because you only said no, wisdom hesitates, don't you can't imitate all. Imitate. You follow? One kind of reasoning which is bound by linguistics, kutarka. Another kind of reasoning, vitarka, where you transcend that. Shastras follow the technique of vitarka. That's why a person who has learned to reason the Shastric way can never have a conversation because you see the shallowness, hollowness You see it? See it so clearly. What to do? But you continue to do it. Why? Because anyway it isn't. You continue to do. Why? Because like an actor on the stage, you have to perform your role. Okay? Okay, Bharat?